he needed to give him the message and go back through another way. Don't eat, don't drink, don't speak with anybody. That's what's the message. Because the message was not only what he needed to give to the king, but also what he needed to do. And the first part was perfect. So he went straight. The king was there. He came, gave him the message. We know the story, what happened after. So he went back, and then was the problem. Somebody came and said, the Lord came to me and said, come to my house, eat with me, rest with me, and then you can go on your trip. And he accepted and went and ate and rest. And then he began his trip back. And then a lion came on the way, killed him, don't eat him, don't destroy his body, only was beside him. In the middle of the way, that all the people saw, the prophet is there, dead, the lion is beside him, and everyone knew why. Because the prophet, when the king invited him to come to him, to eat with him, he announced him. The Lord said, I cannot go back through the same way. I cannot eat, I cannot drink. I need to go back. So everybody knew at this time that he was a disobedient prophet. This don't change the message. And this is what very often is a problem with the gift of prophecy, that the people identify the person and the message. And it's true that the Lord will choose faithful people to give the message. But that at one time the person was faithful, don't guarantee that will be faithful forever. And this is the case of the prophet. So to have a gift of the Lord, don't sanctify us. Don't give us the title of salvation. Only make us even more responsible. But don't give us the title of salvation. And we find this clear point here. And this helps us to understand that the messenger and the message need to be together, need to be in harmony, but not always happen like this, as in this case too. The message and the prophecy given to Jeroboam was fulfilled in the time of Joash the king. All the bones of the dynasty of Jeroboam were burned on this same altar, in the same spot that the prophet pronounced the prophecy. So the prophecy came to fulfillment, but the prophet died. So let us understand that to be guardians, custodians of the truth, of the message, give us so a high responsibility to live according to this. Now we, as people of God, we are also partakers of the spirit of prophecy. We receive this truth. What will happen in the future, we know. We know what will happen in the future. And we have to announce this and to live according to this truth. So, let us go to other attributes. We have mentioned that the prophet is always called by the Lord, never pronounced himself as a prophet. But this message that is given from the Lord is imperative. So when the person receives the message, have to give the message. And we will study that two persons before Sister White received the same visions. And specifically one of them, we will study more in detail, rejected to present the message because of fear, many other reasons, and the message was taken out of him. So Apostle Paul was a prophet. He pronounced prophecies. Who can mention to me one prophecy of Paul? Apostle Paul. One prophecy. Because we cannot say Paul is a prophet and we cannot prove that he is a prophet. So, mention to me at least one prophecy. Excuse me. At least that is directly connected with Daniel and Revelation, and is a wonderful link with Daniel and Revelation. The men of iniquity. You find this in Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians. Please go with me to 2 Thessalonians. Second. This is chapter 2. 1 second. This is chapter 2 generally, but let us see exactly. This version say the son of perdition. Another version say the son of iniquity, or the son of the evildoers. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself about all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God seated in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So, in which book of the Bible we find the first section of verse 4? Announce before this. Especially this section. Who opposed and exalted himself about all that is called God or that is worshipped. Which prophet?
Daniel.
Yes. Which chapter?
11.
It's 7. So, this is extremely important. And where we find the second part of verse 4? Where in Revelation? We have more than one place. Also in Daniel. In 11 is also correct. Yes. Revelation. Where in Revelation? At least 3 places. Mention to me at least one for the second section. That seat where the temple of God is. Okay, think about this. So, this prophecy is not the only one that Paul pronounced, but is the one that made a perfect link between Daniel, Revelation, and we find Thessalonians in the middle. Exactly because in his time, this was in progress. And he mentioned the Lord will not come until the apostasy will come. So first need to be the apostasy, and then the second coming need to come. So that is related also with Matthew 24, that the Lord mentioned the desolation and the prevarication of the sanctuary before his coming. So all these links come together to this wonderful element that prophesy the events to be seen and confirmed before the second coming of Christ. So, and then Paul say about how he feel when we receive the gift of the Spirit in the form of the gift of prophecy. 1 Corinthians 9:16 say, "Yeah, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel, who say exactly the same words in the Old Testament." Which prophet? Do you remember? Jeremiah. Jeremiah said, "I have decided not to preach anymore." And he said to the Lord, "I cannot bear these things anymore." Because he was always preaching bad things, negative things, things that the people don't wanted to hear, destruction of Jerusalem, captivity of the people. So he was hated from everyone. So he said, please, Lord, I will not open my mouth anymore. I will not preach. Don't give any message anymore. And he said, and a fire was burning in myself. So again, I began to preach. So one of the main characteristics of a prophet, not only that he's not called by himself, but the message is so compulsory, so imperative, so powerful in the person that have the need to tell this. And we need to have this. And we need to have this. Which prophecy and which book of the Bible announce that the people of God will have this same imperative, compulsory power to bring the message? It's a prophecy about this and have to do with the gift of prophecy. It's the prophet Joel. Do you remember? We have studied chapter 2 and chapter 3 of the prophet of Joel that announce the outpouring of the Holy Spirit in the former rain and in the latter rain, and say that the young people, the elderly, they will receive the gift of the Spirit and they will have visions and they will prophesy. So this is waiting for us. So it's compulsory, it's imperative when a true prophet receives message from the Lord. And if resist this power, the Spirit go out of the person. And we will have different examples of it. Let us consider how also the Apostle Peter presented this in another perspective, according to 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 10 and 11. The Bible text says, related with the spirit of prophecy, the prophets prophesy of the grace that should come unto you, searching what? Or what manner of time the Spirit of Christ which was in them did signify, when it testified beforehand the sufferings of Christ and the glory that should follow. We find here an element that qualify a prophet to be called as a prophet. So the Lord don't give the message to somebody that is completely indifferent, ignorant, and without interest in the message. Here the Bible text says that they were searching. They were interested to know how things will be fulfilled. If you remember Daniel, when he received the vision from Daniel 8:14 about the 2,300 evenings and mornings, he didn't receive the explanation. And the Bible says that he was so weak. He was not able to eat, to drink. He was sick because he was so concerned about what this means. What can this be? Because he put together the events and he realized that the 70 years of Jeremiah were there. The time was there to be fulfilled. And now he received another vision, 2,300. And he said, but how this can happen if 70 years was for the captivity and after the 70 years, literal days of years, they needed to go back. How he received another numerical prophecy, and now it's not 70, now it's 2,300. So he was so concerned that he became sick because of this. The Bible tells us. And then he prayed all the time, please, Lord, show me how this happened, how this can be. And then came Daniel 9. And how began Daniel 9? Do you remember? With a prayer. That he prayed to the Lord and said, I took again the role of Jeremiah, and I confirm that the time is here, now, for the 70 years. And then he asked for forgiveness to the Lord, for the people, for the leaders, for himself. He included himself in all the apostasy. And he was praying, because he had the 70 and then he had the 2,300. And then the Lord sent angels, sent Gabriel to explain to him. And he was not finished with the prayer. And then he received the explanation that the 2,300 evenings and mornings are not related with the 70 years of Jeremiah. So he can have peace. The 70 years will fulfill. They will come back. They are literal 70 years that came in fulfillment, and they will go back. Now, the explanation for the 2,300 is another issue. So he understood this. Then he received peace of mind. He understood, at least, that is not related, that they don't need to wait 2,300 evenings and mornings until they will come back. So, what this means? When the person is concerned, is dealing in his mind with the present situation. When Sister White received the first vision, he was so sick because she was so disappointed that Jesus didn't come. The 22nd October, 1844, Jesus don't come. And he was desperate. Nobody was able to find answer what is wrong until the Lord revealed to Hiram Edson. And he saw Jesus going to the most holy place. Then the key for the understanding opened the door announced in the message to Philadelphia. And that was the door to the most holy place. So all those that were sad, concerned after the disappointment, only those received the answer. Where was the problem? Where was the mistake? Who made the mistake? How this happened? So always the message receives somebody that have knowledge about the truth, is faithful to God, and is concerned about the present situation of the people of God. It's not God don't give his message, his spirit to somebody that is completely indifferent, ignorant, and don't care for anything. Also if he's in the church. Because many people are in the church and they don't know why they are in the church. Why this is the church of God. Why we need to be here now at this time and why we have to do. And this is a problem. So the Lord gives specific persons in among his people the message that they are ready to receive it because they are mentally and spiritually open to receive it. They are concerned about the situation. Let us consider one quotation of the patriarchs and prophets that is included in this quotation from 1 Peter 1, 10 and 11. Is the voice of Christ that speaks to us through the Old Testament. So 1 Peter mentioned how the prophecy was given in the Old Testament. And he was living in the New Testament. And he was a Jew. He had all the tradition. He was taught day and night, day after day in the rabbinical schools about the prophecies, that the Messiah need to come, need to born in this place, need to be from this tribe, need to do this, need to do that. And then he lived the fulfillment of this prophecy. He was in his present that he saw all the fulfillment. So was Christ the same that came as a human being and called him, the same that announced his coming in the Old Testament? Again, we find the diversity of administrations Because when Peter was writing, he was living in the new administration. And when the prophecy about Jesus was given was the old administration or dispensation. You find different concepts of it. So the link between the old dispensation, the Old Testament, and the new dispensation have the same origin. And this is divinity. The voice of Christ was given in the Old Testament and to be here in the New Testament on this earth. So the spirit of prophecy is the same in different dispensations, different administrations, but from the same origin. So Jesus announced himself through the prophets, the messianical prophecies, and he himself fulfilled these prophecies in the New Testament. So, let us see the homework for this point. You need to write a definition of the term of a spirit of prophecy and explain at least with 3 biblical examples. You need to write at least 50 lines for the definition. Don't consider the first section, please. Only where is the triangle. You need to write 50 lines for a definition of the term spirit of prophecy in your own words. Please don't copy Bible texts. Don't copy quotation of the spirit of prophecy. Use your own words. It's important that in your mind you are able to have this definition. So read the Bible text as mentioned here, quotations you can find for it, but express in 50 lines. Approximately, yes. In your own words. The definition of the spirit of prophecy, and at least mention 3 by biblical examples that confirm the principles or the attributes that you mention in your definition. Is clear for you? What is the homework?
So, you said 50 lines, like definition, term of spirit of prophecy?
Yes.
According to what verse?
Okay, we have mentioned different Bible texts. We have read different quotations of the spirit of prophecy. There are thousands of them, okay? So, the important thing that need to reveal in your homework is that you understood. That is the important thing. So that it's clear in your mind that what is a spirit of prophecy? When we speak about the spirit of prophecy, what is this? That is not an abstract idea in your mind. That in the moment that you are able to transmit in written form your thoughts, is clear in your mind. So you need to do this mental effort. Think clearly, go through the lesson. You have many other quotations, many other Bible texts, and then be clear in your mind about the definition. Write it down. For sure you need to make many corrections. Do it. And at least you can use more biblical examples. Biblical examples mean people, not Bible texts. So don't write to me. The spirit of prophecy is a gift of the Holy Spirit to announce the future. And 1 Peter says so. 1 Corinthians says so. Revelation says so. Definition. This is not definition. 50 lines of definition. Clear sentence and logical development of thoughts. It's short homework, but you need a lot of time to do it. I am aware of it. Yes?
Yes. So the biblical examples, we would probably do the definition first, and then afterwards, in a separate section, we mention the biblical examples?
No.
Or incorporated?
Need to be incorporated. For example, if you say, the spirit of prophecy is defined as this, and the first attribute of it, that is so-and-so, is exemplified in the prophet so-and-so. This is one biblical example. Okay? In this way, need to be incorporated in the completely presentation, your definition, yes, not a separate element, I think, included in a package.
And you said it was at least three biblical examples?
At least three. If you need more, this is great. It's not a problem. And if you write more than 50 lines, it's also not a problem, but not less. Don't write to me 3 lines, please. This is at least what is minimum. And you will see that you need more if you want to give a clear, profound, and sufficient explanation of the concept. You need more than 50 lines to do it. If you included also the 3 examples. I wish to recommend to you one lecture to read, Select Messages, Book 2, pages 13 to 16. I think this will help you a lot in your way to formulate the definition. You have on the screen, brother. This is Select Messages, the 2nd volume, pages 13 through 16. So the homework needs to be given tomorrow before 3 p.m. If you give it to me through email or in person, after 3 p.m. will be not accepted and will be not graded and will consider as not done. Yes?
Quick question. Tomorrow we have our test during this class, right?
Yes. Will be not class for the Spirit of Prophecy tomorrow.
It's going to be a 2-hour test, or?
Yes, you will have 2 hours. Maybe you can do it shorter, I don't know. But you will have from 8 to 10 for this test.